Have you ever wondered if someone cares about you more than they let on? Maybe he's there in small ways, subtle gestures you barely notice, yet they leave an imprint on your heart. Psychology shows that mental attachment isn't about dramatic confessions or constant texts. It's hidden in quiet, meaningful actions that reveal his thinking of you, prioritizing you, and emotionally invested without needing recognition. Imagine this: a man who checks in just to hear your voice, even when there's no reason. A man who remembers that tiny detail you mentioned months ago, like the song that lifts your mood or the way you take your coffee. These aren't random acts. They are signs of mental presence. He mirrors your tone, your gestures, even the way you laugh, without you ever noticing consciously. And it's not manipulation. It's your mind and his mind quietly syncing in a way only psychology can explain. When someone is mentally attached, your happiness becomes intertwined with his. He notices when you're off, even if you haven't said a word. He supports your goals quietly, celebrates your achievements, and respects your boundaries without losing touch. He finds ways to include you in his future, subtly protecting you, surprising you with the little things that show his paying attention, and always staying present when others lose interest. It's in the small smiles that linger, the extra effort he makes to understand your feelings, and the subtle, controlled jealousy that shows he cares deeply but respects your freedom. These signals aren't loud, but they are emotionally powerful. They tell you that your presence matters, that he values you beyond the surface, and that your connection is meaningful in ways words can't fully capture. By the end of this video, you'll start seeing the signs that go unnoticed by many, behaviors that reveal his mind is constantly engaged with yours, and that is mentally and emotionally attached to you. These aren't casual crushes or fleeting interests. They are quiet, intentional, and deeply rooted in psychological attachment. You might have felt it already, moments when he was there, even without you asking, moments that made your heart skip, moments that left you wondering if he feels the same way. Stay with me, because we're going to uncover 15 unexpected signs that psychology says can't be faked. From tiny gestures to subtle emotional cues, each sign will help you understand if he's truly invested in you, mentally, emotionally, and in ways that last. By the time you finish watching, you'll see the truth hiding behind his quiet actions and subtle attentiveness. You'll realize that sometimes love isn't shouted from rooftops. It's felt in the silence, in the consistency, and in the small but meaningful ways he makes you feel seen, valued, and cherished. 1. He always checks in without any reason. When a man is mentally attached to you, he doesn't wait for special occasions or crises to reach out. He checks in simply because you occupy a significant space in his mind. These messages, calls, or even social media interactions aren't about obligation. They are a reflection of genuine interest. He wants to know how your day is going, how you're feeling, or sometimes he just wants to hear your voice. Psychologists explain that this behavior is tied to emotional attachment and subconscious bonding. The act of checking in without reason shows that he prioritizes your presence in his mental space, even when life is busy or stressful. It's not controlling or intrusive. Instead, it's subtle reassurance that he cares. Unlike casual acquaintances who reach out sporadically or only when they need something, someone mentally attached to you will naturally integrate your presence into his daily routine. Over time, these seemingly small gestures create a feeling of consistency and reliability, which builds trust and emotional intimacy. The key is that it feels effortless and genuine. If you notice someone checking in regularly without expectation or pressure, it's a strong psychological indicator that is not just interested superficially, he's mentally and emotionally connected to you in a deep, meaningful way. 2. He remembers the smallest details about you. One of the most telling signs of mental attachment is how he remembers the things you might consider insignificant. It could be the coffee you like, the way you laugh when nervous, or the song you mentioned liking 2 months ago. Psychologists call this micromemory attachment, where the brain holds onto small, emotionally relevant details about someone you care for. For him, remembering these details isn't about impressing you. It's about genuine connection. When he brings them up, it signals that you're always on his mind and that he values your experiences, moods, and preferences. This behavior often appears subtle. He might casually reference your favorite book, notice a change in your hair, or recall a story you shared once. These small gestures show mental engagement because your words and actions leave an imprint on him. Over time, this creates a sense of being truly seen and understood, which deepens emotional attachment. Unlike casual friendships or shallow flings, a mentally attached person doesn't forget these small markers. They internalize them and occasionally act on them. So, if he recalls the tiniest details, it's a strong psychological sign that is invested in you mentally and emotionally, even if he doesn't verbally express it. 3. He mirrors your actions and tones subtly. Mirroring is a psychological behavior where someone unconsciously imitates the gestures, speech patterns, or emotional tone of the person they are attached to. In romantic psychology, subtle mirroring is a major sign of mental attachment. If you notice him adopting your phrases, matching your body language, or even laughing in a similar way to yours, it indicates that he's subconsciously aligning with you. This alignment creates emotional rapport and strengthens a sense of connection without either of you explicitly trying. Psychologists say mirroring fosters comfort, empathy, and bonding because it signals that your brain and his are synchronized on an emotional level. Importantly, this behavior is usually subtle. He doesn't mimic in a mocking way, but naturally adapts to your energy, pace, and expressions. For example, if you speak softly, he lowers his voice. If you gesture a certain way, he may unconsciously echo it. This demonstrates his mind's attunement to yours, reflecting deep mental attachment. Essentially, mirroring is his brain's way of saying, "I'm in sync with you, and I want to be close." If you catch these patterns repeatedly, it's a clear psychological indicator that he's more than casually interested. He's mentally invested in understanding, connecting, and emotionally bonding with you. 4. He prioritizes your happiness over his own. One of the most revealing signs of mental attachment is when a man genuinely places your happiness above his own. This doesn't mean he neglects himself or loses his identity. Instead, he actively considers your feelings, needs, and comfort in his decisions. Psychologists describe this as empathic investment, where someone's emotional satisfaction is directly tied to your well-being. For example, he might adjust his schedule to make sure he's available when you need support, or he may go out of his way to plan experiences that bring you joy, even if it requires personal sacrifice. This behavior isn't performative. It comes naturally, reflecting his deep emotional engagement. Men who are mentally attached often experience subconscious gratification when they see you happy. Your smiles, laughter, or peaceful moments serve as a positive reinforcement for his attachment, strengthening the bond further. Importantly, this prioritization is balanced. It's not about manipulation or control, but about sincere concern. When someone consistently puts your happiness first, it signals that your emotional world matters profoundly to him, making it a strong indicator that is mentally and emotionally invested in you in a way that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Over time, this prioritization creates trust, security, and a unique sense of being genuinely valued. 5. He notices when something is off, even if you don't say. A man who is mentally attached to you develops an almost instinctive awareness of your emotional state. He notices subtle changes, your tone of voice, facial expressions, or body language, even if you don't voice a complaint or concern. Psychologists refer to this as emotional attunement, where someone's brain is highly sensitive to the moods and feelings of someone they care about. If you seem quieter, distracted, or stressed, he may ask gently, "Are you okay?" or offer support without expecting acknowledgement. This behavior reflects deep mental engagement. He subconsciously monitors your emotional equilibrium because it matters to him. Unlike casual acquaintances who often overlook small cues, someone emotionally and mentally attached will pick up on micro-signals and respond intuitively. This attentiveness shows that your emotional well-being is important to him, and he is internally motivated to maintain your comfort and happiness. It's not intrusive, it's caring and natural. When a man notices the smallest changes in your mood, even without explicit communication, It's a clear sign that is mentally invested and emotionally connected, reflecting deep attachment beyond superficial interest. 6. He finds excuses to spend time with you. Another classic sign of mental attachment is when a man actively seeks opportunities to be near you, even under ordinary circumstances. These aren't grand gestures necessarily. They can be small, everyday actions like suggesting coffee, attending an event you mentioned, or spontaneously checking in just to hang out. Psychologists explain this as proximity-seeking behavior, a subconscious drive to increase contact and connection with someone significant. He doesn't need an urgent reason. Simply being around you provides emotional satisfaction. Over time, this behavior strengthens the attachment because repeated interactions create comfort, familiarity, and trust. Men who are mentally invested often plan subtle ways to align their schedules with yours, showing consideration without pressure. This indicates that your presence holds intrinsic value to him. Unlike casual friends who interact out of routine or obligation, someone mentally attached prioritizes shared moments, even in minor ways. If you notice him consistently finding reasons, no matter how small, to spend time with you, it's a psychological signal that is emotionally and mentally engaged. These efforts demonstrate both intention and care, reflecting a deeper connection that extends beyond casual companionship. 7. He supports your goals quietly and consistently. A man who is mentally attached to you will often support your ambitions without needing recognition or applause. This support isn't flashy, it's subtle, consistent, and genuinely selfless. Psychologists describe this as emotional scaffolding, where someone invests in your growth because your success and happiness enhance their emotional connection with you. He might offer advice, resources, or encouragement in private, never making it about himself. For example, he could celebrate a small achievement with excitement, check in on your progress, or help remove obstacles in practical ways, all without expecting anything in return. Over time, this quiet support communicates that he truly values your journey and wants to see you flourish. Unlike casual friends who may be indifferent or competitive, someone mentally attached derives satisfaction from your accomplishments. This consistency also signals reliability, creating a sense of security in the relationship. By supporting your goals thoughtfully, he reinforces that he is emotionally and mentally invested in your life, not just the moments you spend together. This is a clear psychological indicator of attachment because he integrates your growth into his own emotional framework. 8. He respects your boundaries, yet stays close. Respecting boundaries while maintaining emotional closeness is a subtle but powerful sign of mental attachment. Psychologists call this secure attachment behavior, where someone values your autonomy while still prioritizing the connection. He doesn't pressure you, manipulate you, or try to control your decisions. Instead, he observes and adapts to your comfort levels. For instance, if you need space or time alone, he respects that, but doesn't withdraw emotionally or become distant. He maintains gentle contact, checks in occasionally, and shows that your mental presence matters to him. This behavior demonstrates emotional intelligence. He understands that healthy attachment doesn't require constant intrusion. It's a delicate balance between giving freedom and maintaining closeness, which is difficult to fake or sustain without genuine care. Men who are mentally attached will consistently honor your personal limits while keeping the bond alive, signaling that their attachment is rooted in respect, patience, and understanding. Over time, this creates trust and emotional safety, showing that he is mentally engaged and committed to a meaningful connection with you. 9. He shows slight jealousy but remains composed. Jealousy is a natural psychological response when someone is mentally attached to a person they care about. However, the key here is that he expresses it subtly, without overreacting or controlling you. Psychologists refer to this as controlled emotional attachment, where feelings of protectiveness arise but are managed through self-regulation. He may feel slightly uneasy when others show interest in you, or he may become quietly more attentive, but he doesn't lash out or manipulate the situation. This restrained jealousy demonstrates that he values the relationship and fears losing the bond, yet he respects your independence and choices. The fact that he remains composed is significant. It shows emotional maturity and true attachment, rather than insecurity or possessiveness. Small, Controlled signals of jealousy, like heightened attentiveness or protective behavior in social situations, reveal that he is mentally engaged and emotionally invested. This balance of care and composure is a hallmark of deep psychological attachment. He cares enough to notice potential threats but trusts the connection enough to handle it gracefully. 10. He includes you in his future plans. A man who is mentally attached to you naturally envisions you in his future, even if he doesn't explicitly announce it. Psychologists describe this as future-oriented attachment, where your presence is mentally integrated into his long-term plans. He might casually reference trips, events, or life decisions in a way that assumes you'll be part of them. For example, he could mention attending a concert together months from now, planning a weekend outing, or even discussing lifestyle choices while imagining your input. These subtle gestures indicate that your role in his life is meaningful and ongoing. Unlike casual acquaintances who live in the present without considering future collaboration, someone mentally attached mentally rehearses scenarios with you included, showing a deep emotional investment. This isn't about pressuring you to commit, it's about his subconscious acknowledgement that you matter long-term. Observing this behavior is a strong psychological signal that he values your presence consistently and sees the bond as significant and lasting. 11. He protects you in subtle ways without bragging. Protection is a hallmark of mental attachment, but when it's done quietly, it reveals emotional depth and maturity. Psychologists call this covert care behavior. He looks out for your safety, comfort, and reputation without making a spectacle of it. He may notice potential dangers, avoid situations that could harm you, or speak up on your behalf subtly, all while remaining humble and discreet. For instance, he might redirect an awkward social scenario, send a friendly warning, or quietly handle a problem that affects you. These acts of care are not for recognition. They stem from genuine concern. Men who are mentally attached gain satisfaction from knowing you are safe and supported, and they do it without expecting praise or repayment. Over time, this quiet vigilance creates a sense of emotional security and trust. His protective behavior signals attachment because it demonstrates foresight, empathy, and selfless investment in your well-being. It's a strong psychological indicator that he values you deeply, both mentally and emotionally, without needing validation. 12. He smiles differently when you're around. Have you ever noticed a man's smile change when he sees you? Psychologists explain this as emotional resonance, where the brain's reward and attachment centers respond to the presence of someone meaningful. A mentally attached man's smile is often softer, warmer, and more genuine when you're around. It's involuntary, reflecting subconscious joy, comfort, and admiration. He may smile slightly longer, maintain eye contact, or allow subtle quirks like a laugh or smirk that only appears with you. This isn't performative, it's a natural reflection of emotional attachment. Your presence triggers positive emotions in him, and the smile is a visible manifestation of that mental and emotional connection. Unlike casual interactions where smiles are polite or neutral, his unique response signals that he is attuned to you deeply. This subtle behavior communicates warmth, appreciation, and attachment without a word. Observing such differences in his expression is a psychological sign that he values your presence emotionally and mentally, and that your influence brings joy and comfort to his inner world. 13. He makes an effort to understand your thoughts and feelings. A man who is mentally attached to you doesn't just hear your words. He actively seeks to understand your inner world. Psychologists call this cognitive empathy, the ability to comprehend someone else's emotions, perspectives, and motivations. He asks thoughtful questions, listens intently, and remembers the context behind your stories or feelings. Unlike casual listeners, he wants to grasp why you feel a certain way, not just what you feel. This behavior shows emotional engagement because he invests mental energy to map your thoughts and respond meaningfully. For example, if you're stressed about work, he may not immediately offer solutions. Instead, he attempts to understand your frustrations and support you in ways that genuinely help. This effort reflects attachment because he values your perspective and emotional state, making your happiness and comfort a priority. Over time, this consistent attentiveness strengthens trust, connection, and mutual understanding. When someone truly tries to comprehend your mind and heart, it's a psychological signal that is mentally and emotionally invested, signaling a bond deeper than casual interest or surface-level affection. 14. He remembers your preferences and surprises you occasionally. Another subtle yet powerful sign of mental attachment is when he remembers your likes, dislikes, and small preferences, and occasionally surprises you based on them. Psychologists describe this as personalized attentiveness, which reinforces emotional attachment. He may notice your favorite snack, the way you like your coffee, or a song you love, and then unexpectedly bring it to you or create a moment around it. These gestures are not about impressing you publicly. They're intimate, thoughtful, and show he's attentive to your inner world. This behavior signals that you're consistently on his mind and that he derives satisfaction from making you happy in ways that are meaningful to you. Surprises rooted in understanding your preferences go beyond generic gifts. They demonstrate care, attentiveness, and emotional investment. Over time, this strengthens trust, intimacy, and a sense of being truly seen. If he makes an effort to tailor actions to your unique tastes, it's a clear psychological indicator that is mentally attached and wants to nurture a connection that's personal and emotionally resonant. 15. He stays present when others leave or lose interest. One of the most revealing signs of mental attachment is his consistency when others drift away. Psychologists call this loyalty-driven attachment. He values your connection enough to remain present even when social attention shifts or circumstances change. Unlike casual friends or acquaintances who disappear when it's inconvenient or less exciting, someone mentally attached maintains emotional support, attention, and availability. He may check in during difficult times, offer comfort when you feel isolated, or simply stay engaged when others stop showing interest. This behavior demonstrates reliability and emotional commitment. His presence signals that you matter to him regardless of external circumstances, reinforcing a sense of security and trust. Over time, this consistent engagement reveals that his attachment isn't superficial or situational. It's deeply rooted in mental and emotional investment. Staying present when others leave is a subtle but powerful psychological indicator that he is dedicated, values your connection, and is mentally engaged in maintaining your bond, making it one of the strongest signs of hidden attachment.